After adding the normal maps I've shown you in the last video, I noticed a problem. The lights appear to distort the ground. It's slightly visible when you shoot, in particular the moment when the light disappears. And it's hard to ignore when dealing with brighter light sources like explosions. To make it less pronounced, I made the light take a longer time to disappear, and in particular the light created by the explosion to affect the texture normals to a lesser extent. You probably noticed by now a brief delay when the texture is loaded the first time. This is also happening in standalone builds. Basically, I'm reading the explosion sprite at runtime, and Unity, the engine I'm using, only loads things once they're visible to the camera. So I have fixed this, but in order to preload the explosion, I had to change its size to 0 in order to trick Unity to load the material. Afterwards, I decided to focus on the main grenade types. The blast radius will be smaller and make less light. And then I changed the explosion sprite to something that actually looks good. Somehow it now feels nice throwing these. When the grenade touches the ground, it just stops, there is no impact. It feels wrong, so in order to give them a bit of weight, I added some flying dust when they land. So next there was some work on replacing the impact craters the explosions create. We wanted the explosions to feel impactful, that's why these have received extra attention. I think they blend very well with the ground, and it works regardless of the terrain type. The deformation certainly adds depth to the scene. Oh, and they also work even between two different terrain types at the same time. However, a concerning issue is that the impact marks don't look well when they're next to each other. The distortion effect is created through a height map which doesn't have any awareness of any other nearby craters. So basically you have two textures, one on top of the other. My approach to solve this was to create a single texture that contains them both. Basically starting with an empty canvas, writing the first image, and then merge the pixels from the second one. One thing to note is that in order to provide a bit more variety, I rotate the created craters game objects containing the textures. So in my case, I needed to rotate the pixels before merging them in order to match their previous orientation. I have implemented all of this and also handled cases where you merge more than two craters together or merging multiple clusters in one go. So now let's actually have a look at the end result. These being linked together, the entire texture is being recreated every single time. However, it's still very fast. Anyway, so this is where things are right now. My brother is still working on the throwing animation. There are some rigging problems that take some time to get right. We really want grenades to feel satisfying to throw. If you have enjoyed this video and would like to follow the game's development, please like and subscribe. I will catch you in the next one.